Hello, all of my beautiful people. How is everyone doing? How are we all managing and getting through this massive collective energetic shift that each and every one of us are going through? And as we continue to become more awakened and aware of certain aspects of ourselves that no longer serve us, it becomes even more challenging and more exhausting, because now what is happening is that old version of who we are needs to come to an end so that we can start to embrace the new version, the version of who we truly are. Right? It's kind of like a race to discover and remember who we truly are. And that's why I feel like this energy is just moving at such an accelerated pace. It's just after one thing after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other. It's just continuously exhausting us. But I promise it will all come to a calm, balanced space and place eventually. Okay, this is what we're working on. This is where we're trying to go. This is what we are trying to accomplish. This is how we are trying to embrace. We are trying to remember. We are becoming more awakened of all of the things in our lives that have been for so long just an illusion. It's like we've had these illusions. We've created these illusions of what we thought life was supposed to be, who we were supposed to be. And where does that all come from, right? That comes all from our limited beliefs, from our programming, from our conditioning, from family lines, generational lines, ancestral lines that has been carried down from generation to generation, right? It's lying in our DNA and cell memory for us to get to this place of truly understanding and being aware that all of those experiences were not supposed to define who we are. They were only supposed to teach us lessons till we get to this place of, which most people are in this place now, of awakening and understanding that all of that stuff was just illusions. It was just program. It was conditioning from other beliefs of other people, of how they were conditioned and how they were programmed. You know, and if you want to go back to old lifetimes and ancestral times, you know, there was a time, and even to a certain extent still exists now, where we weren't allowed to have a voice, especially women. Women were very oppressed. Very oppressed. We weren't allowed to be who we were, right? Who we are. We were told how to act. We were told that our place is in the kitchen, or our place is just to have children. We're not allowed to work. We're not allowed to make money. We're not allowed to make our own choices and decisions. And of course, as times went on, more and more women started to stand in their power. But there's still such a deep programming in our subconscious that is still connected to that time. And that's why this time has been so, what we're going through right now has been so challenging for us. Because I think what is happening is we are starting to see the truth of who we truly are, right? And in order to continue to evolve, and for our souls to evolve, to awaken, to move into this higher consciousness, we have to be very aware of those limited beliefs, those conditionings and programming that was instilled in us, that is in our DNA and cell memory. This is a time where many of us are starting to see that, realize that, that things were really not as they seemed. They were the way we created them to be in our mind, and those illusions that were created from those ideals and beliefs and things that were instilled in us, right? You know, all of those experiences really were only supposed to be lessons that we were supposed to learn, right? That we chose to learn. Our soul wants to continue to evolve, and it cannot evolve into higher consciousness. And higher consciousness is really connecting to your higher self, who you truly are at a level of not being in this 3D density level where we understand that we are God, source energy, that we are magical, that we are all that we are, you know, and the only thing that really stops us from getting into that place of higher consciousness, of higher understanding and awareness, is the belief that we can't, right? Where we don't believe in ourselves, that we still hold on to all of the things that we've been told about ourselves, that have been instilled within ourselves. But we are divine beings. We truly are divine beings. It's just getting to that place of remembering that. So I say this all to tell you and to let you understand a little bit about what is going on right now. Everything seems to be happening in an accelerated pace. It's like things are just happening faster and faster and faster. It's like we have this urge, this need to accelerate, to move forward, but we stop ourselves because we're fearing whatever those changes are. We're at a place where we're starting to shed that old version of who we were or who we thought we were, right? Based on what we were taught, you know, what we learned, what society told us we were to be. And we're coming into this place now of awakening into a higher consciousness where we can no longer take that lower 3D density energy with us, right? So things are being pushed on us at an accelerated pace. We're starting to see things and understand where a lot of things have come from. We want to so desperately make the changes, but it's the fear within ourselves that stops ourselves from making those changes, to stepping into that version of who we are, our future version, our higher self, right? Who we truly are, higher consciousness, you know, and we cannot move into that higher consciousness until we have balanced out all of what was, what is, to what it is supposed to be, what we are supposed to be, who we are. Right? So it's coming to a place where we need to balance the masculine and the feminine energy. And we have been taught to work with either one or the other. So it's like we're either too feminine, we're working too much in our feminine energy, or we're working too much in our masculine energy. But the challenge here is for us to learn how to balance and align both masculine and feminine energy within us, because that is where we're going to discover the peace and harmony that we are so seeking. We're at this place now where people are really beginning to not only see things for what they are, but ready to shed those old ways. Where we're at a place where we're sick of our jobs. Like, our jobs are just not emotionally fulfilling us anymore. I have so many people struggling with that. So many people in the collective, my clients, who are struggling with, should I or shouldn't I? The job it pays my bills. I can't leave a job that really doesn't fulfill or emotionally fulfill us anymore, right? Because why? We have this fear that if we do shift into something that we truly want to do and have always wanted to do, that we are going to be without. It's that lack mentality. But really, when it comes down to it, it's really understanding that we can do anything that we really put our mind to once we let go of the fear-based energy that has been instilled in us, that we are supposed to do this and we're supposed to do that and we're supposed to be this way and we're supposed to be that way. But at the end of the day, you're not happy. We're not happy. Why are we not happy? Because we're not in alignment with ourselves, and we are searching for things outside of ourselves to fulfill what we already have within ourselves, right? And I know this is easier said than done, because I've struggled with the same. I've gone through the same challenges. But when I look back, and this is where this time of perception and clarity comes through, awakening comes through. You start to look back at times before, right? In this lifetime, where you did things or acted a certain way because you felt like that's what you were supposed to be or do. But when you go back in this new perception and with this new clarity, you start to see none of that stuff even fulfilled you. It never really made you happy, You just did it because that's what you were told, or that's what you were shown, or that's what you learned. It's learned behaviors, right? It's like, and I'm not saying pick up and quit your job. We do got to pay our bills. We're still here in the physical world. We still got bills and responsibilities that we have to deal with, right? But I think it's not even so much about that. That's an understanding, of course. But it's more about understanding also and being aware that we can take baby steps to build and start creating a life that is more fulfilling for us, right? And I think it's when you start to take the first steps of allowing yourself to start doing those things that you've always thought about doing, and take the baby steps while you still have your job, right? When we start to let go, because what I find through my experiences, through working with clients, through downloads and so forth, is that when we take those first steps, because that's the trick and that's the challenge, is taking those first steps, because it's that fear that keeps us stuck in that place of not moving forward, right? But when we start to take the baby steps to start creating and planning what it is that we want, and we're at a place now where our perception and clarity is so much more clear, right? We're understanding what makes us happy and what does not make us happy, right? You start to do those things that you thought about, that you forgot about, right? And because of where we were and what we were expected, what we thought we were expected to do, or we were in lack mentality or fear or anxiety or whatever those physical, emotional things that we put ourselves through. When we begin to take those baby steps and start creating those things, even on the side, why you're doing the job, and you start to see little by little that you're feeling better and happier as you're doing these things that you always thought about doing, the passions, your passions. What I find is the universe will come in and work with you and co-create with you when you are in a place of alignment, or you are taking the steps to create something that is fulfilling you emotionally. Because really, at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's about us being emotionally fulfilled. You know, we have choices. We can make whatever choice we want. Free will is there. But it's understanding and knowing what truly fulfills you and what does not. And not continuing to stay in that energy. And I know I'm going on and on. But let me just get to this place of letting you understand that what we are going through and experiencing right now is the release of an old version of ourself. And it's scary as hell to let go of what we have always known and what was always familiar to us. Even if it did not fulfill us emotionally, even if it created anxiety and really never made us happy, it was still a familiar way of being and doing. And it's always comfort to be in a place that you are used to, right? But that is what this shakeup is. That's what this race is about. It's about us letting go of that version, because that version is no longer necessary. It is no longer necessary for you to take with you into this new version of you becoming your true authentic self. You only need those experiences and things that you went through to help you understand what it is that you truly want and you don't want, right? It's to help you move forward and evolve, not to stay stuck. And that is why there's so much frustrations. There's so much anger. There's so many anxieties and things that are coming up to the surface for us, because we are, in essence, shedding that old version. And it's scary as hell to let go of what we know and feel comfortable with. It's being pushed at us, and that energy is being accelerated within us. So it's kind of like we have this excitement and this feeling that, wow, something exciting and extraordinary is about to happen. And I'm ready for the change. I'm ready to do whatever it is I need to do to get to that place. But then here comes that fear that's keeping you still stuck in that old version of familiar patterns and behaviors that you're used to, right? This is a time of awakening. We are supposed to clear and end old patterns of behavior that have been instilled and implanted in our DNA memory from our past ancestors, bloodlines, and so forth. We are supposed to become the healed version, not the unhealed version. And the unhealed version is what was instilled in us from generation to generation to generation, right? So when you become awakened, you start to see that. You start to see that all of that stuff was just fake, right? It wasn't real. It wasn't real. It was just something that was put into us to believe that this is the way things were supposed to be. But when you know and you get that perception and that clarity, you will discover that. And you will want to take the steps to move forward. And not everyone is going to awaken, although we all are supposed to at some point. But maybe it's just not your timeline. But the ones who are being pushed, who feel like they're going through tower moment after tower moment, after dark night of the snow, after all of this stuff that keeps coming up, all this upheavaling of our life, things, losing people, jobs, place. That's all happening for a reason, because again, it's all part of releasing that old version that old self, your old past self, your old past limited beliefs and programming from others before you, right? It's unlearning all the things that we learned that really were only supposed to teach us, but not define us, right? We're at the place where we're supposed to become awakened enough to know that we are the time. This is the time where we are supposed to end all of that old behaviors and patterns that were carried down from generation to generation. It's time to become the healed version of ourselves, the awakened version of ourselves, to step into our higher consciousness, to become who we are truly meant to be, to trust and believe that everything is going to work out in our highest and greatest good if we allow it to. If we let go of that old version, we let go of all of the things that we learned or unlearn those parts of us that no longer serve us, right? Of course, we learn through our experiences, our lessons, right? But a lot of that stuff now is done. And it's time for you to see that for yourself. And that's why we're having nightmares. And it's just a purging of an old way of being that's been just carried down from generations to generation. So don't fret, my friends. Don't fret, my loves. Allow the process. Allow it to do what it needs to do. Take the time to give to yourself. Take the time to rest. Take the time to look within. Don't fear the changes. Take the time to see the truth in everything. Understand that we no longer need illusions, okay? We create our realities, right? We are in charge of what it is that we want to do for ourselves. If we trust ourselves more and believe in ourselves more. Let the shedding begin. Allow it to do what it needs to do without fearing it. Meditate. Take time to be out in nature, to ground yourself, because grounding is so necessary right now to keep that energy balanced. Otherwise, we will feel like we're losing our minds. I can attest to that. B, it's been rough. It's been rough. I started to realize many things about what I thought or who I thought I was, that I wasn't, you know? And there's still things that I have to allow myself to shed and release. And it is hard. It's difficult when you're used to being a certain way. I had to relearn all of the things that I learned, that I thought I was to be, you know. It's like you're told through lifetimes, and even this lifetime, you know, that a mother is supposed to be this way, right? A wife is supposed to be this way. A female is supposed to be this way. A male is supposed to be this way. A father is supposed to be this way. You know, it's just all of these beliefs that were just carried down and planted in our subconscious, you know, to make us think that that's what it was supposed to be, you know. So I have to say, it's been a roller coaster ride, and you know, and I'm still feeling a lot of the energy. And the thing, what's happening is I'm feeling, and I'm sure most collective is as well, feeling the acceleration. It's like this speed. Everything is happening so fast, so fast, so fast, so fast. It's like everything is coming in at one time. And in that process, you're also going to be shown shadow parts of yourself. You're going to be dealing with darkness. You know, you're going to be dealing with light. And we have that in us as well. We all have dark and light. It's where you decide to go. You know, what do you decide to allow yourself to be in, right? We need the darkness to find a light, right? Because that is what's going to illuminate. The darkness is going to be illuminated by the light that we have inside of ourselves. The darkness is not supposed to keep us stuck. We're supposed to see what the darkness is. You know, the shadow part of ourselves is the part of ourselves that we don't like, the part of ourselves that we suppress, that we don't want to deal with, you know, and we create this illusion of who we think we're supposed to be. But we need that darkness in order to grow and evolve, right? We don't need to stay in it, but we need to acknowledge it. We need to understand it. We need to allow it to come up, even if it feels like our heart's being ripped apart, you know, our throat's being ripped apart because we're trying to speak, we're trying to love, we're trying to feel and see and align, you know, but we can't do that until we allow all of that stuff to come up and allow the light to continue to illuminate all of that in us so we can let go of it and not fear it, right? You know, you are a divine being. It's just learning to remember that you are, right? Not letting your experiences stop you from remembering who you truly are, right? So be gentle with yourself. Be gentle. Don't beat yourself up. Let the stuff come up. You want to be angry. You need to be angry. Let yourself be angry. Okay? You want to cry. Let yourself cry. You want to feel depressed. Let yourself feel depressed. You know? You want to scream. Scream. Do whatever it is that you need to do to release whatever is trying to come up for you. Okay? Just don't stay in it. Allow it to come up and acknowledge it. Feel it and heal it. Release it and keep moving forward. Allow it to come up. And the more we continue to resist the things that are being shown to us, that we no longer need that version of ourselves, those experiences, those limiting beliefs and programming and learned behaviors that no longer is necessary or has ever been who we were, right? It's just what was passed down. Let it come up. Feel the pain. It's okay. It hurts. You know how many times I've had my heart pulled apart through this whole transition, feeling like my heart was going to come out of my chest and being stretched to be opened and to release things, you know, and at the end of the day to know that I am enough. I am enough. I am love. I am not what I thought I was because of my experiences. I am divine as hell. So are you. And we just need to allow ourselves to go through the process. So let yourself be angry. Let this shit come up. Let it come up. Don't resist it. Because I'm really serious. If you do resist it, it's going to be even worse. It really is. Because again, we're at a place of acceleration. The speed of releasing those old versions and stepping into this new version of who we truly are, we need to allow ourselves to go through that process. We can't resist it because the more we resist it, the harder it's going to be for us. We're going to feel like we're in a dark night of the soul forever, right? You're never going to feel happy. You're going to always feel negative. You're going to always feel down. You're going to always feel like everything is impossible. You know, you're never going to get out of this. You will, if you allow yourself to. And that means sometimes changing our environment, you know, understanding and seeing people for who they truly are as well. You know, because a lot of us wear those rose-colored glasses and we create those illusions of what we think things are going to be, you know, and in reality, the signs are right there in front of your face showing you the truth of what is really going on. It's just that search, that need that we felt was a necessary need of searching for things outside of ourselves to help us feel emotionally fulfilled within, right? But nothing can emotionally fulfill us except ourselves. We have to let go of those illusions, drop those masks, and take off those rose-colored glasses and see things for what they are. See people for who they are. Because in this process, we're going to be faced with a lot of darkness, because we are trying to shift into a higher consciousness of light, of being our divine selves, our authentic selves. And there is going to be a lot of naysayers and people out there who are going to try to take that away from us. They are going to try to keep you in that old version of who you were, because that's what they were used to. They're not used to you moving forward and having a voice and showing your power and standing in your power and knowing that you're worthy. They want to keep you stuck in that old version, because that's the version that was easiest for them, to control, to be in. Maybe it empowered them to make them feel like they were more powerful, So be aware, watch, look at the people around you, because, really there are a lot of people out there that really are not out there for your highest and greatest good. And they will fight you tooth and nail so you don't ascend into this higher consciousness of being. And because some people just want you to be stuck in a low, unhappy place. That's how the darkness wins. Look at all of these healers and tarot readers and all these people who are trying to, to uplift consciousness, to, raise the vibration of the collective, to help people. They're being attacked left and right from dark energies that are trying to keep them stuck, me included. I have to tell you, I feel like I am in battle every night when I go to sleep. I constantly am feeling dark energy just trying to take over my dream state, come into my energy field and keep me in a bad place. And I really wake up so freaking exhausted. And I know a lot of people are feeling this as well. It's because when we're sleeping, we are really connecting more to the higher consciousness or the different realms or whatever, wherever we go. But the darkness seems to me like the darkness will come in more when you're at your weakest, or when you're sleeping, right? It's so important to keep yourself protected even before you go to sleep. Prayer is so important. It's not to spread fear. It's just to make you aware that I'm telling you, from my own experience, I'm attacked at night, like psychically attacked, energetically attacked by beings, by other people's energies and intentions that are being directed at me, low vibe energy, that are intentionally sending bad vibrations to me to try to stop me from continuing to do what it is that I'm meant to be doing here, and that is to uplift consciousness, to bring as many people as I can into their higher consciousness, to help them understand and to learn who they are, to remember who they are, right? And in doing that, I have to go through my own darkness. I have to go through all of my shadow self. That I have to heal all of that, and all of those experiences that I do uplift and heal and learn is what's going to help me be a better healer for someone else that is going through it. But really be aware of your environment and the people around you. Not everyone's there for your good, they're there for their good. And if that means keeping you down and in a stuck energy, that's where they want to keep you. You have to step in your power. You have to rise above that. Become the phoenix rising from the ashes, right? The ashes, the lower energy into the higher consciousness of who you truly are. You have to allow yourself to move in that direction. Face your fears and your anxieties. Let go of the things that keep you stuck in that place. And that is even our mental thoughts about who we are or who we think we are, right? Or that we don't feel good enough of being, Yes, you are. You are a divine soul. And just remember, everything is energy. And all of these experiences are really just to help you evolve into your authentic self, to remember who you truly are, right? They're not there to punish you, right? They're there to teach you. Some will learn and some will not. It all depends on where you are on your healing journey and how you feel about yourself. Because at the end of the day, as I've always said before, this journey is about you and your evolution in becoming and remembering who you truly are, right? It's not about anybody else. It's not about anybody else. It's not. It's about you loving yourself enough to know what you deserve and what you don't deserve. It's about you knowing that you are a divine being, that you just have to remember that. And that comes with knowing your value and your worth, knowing how powerful you truly are, knowing how magical you truly are, and how you can manifest the future that you want once you release the old versions and learned behaviors and patterns. Unlearning, right? All of that stuff gets stored in our subconscious, in our cell memory. All those experiences and the experiences of our bloodline before us. It's there stuck inside of us. We carry it with us. And the awakening is about us releasing it now. And every time we heal a portion of ourselves, every time we do that, we are healing ancestors, sisters, brother, mother. You're healing the unhealed trauma that was carried down from those generations that were never allowed to be seen or heard, and have just been told this is the way you're supposed to be, this is the way what you're supposed to do, this is who you are, right? And they carry down to their children, and then their children carry down to their children. So we're at a place now where we're all ready to step into this higher consciousness. And the higher consciousness comes from healing all of that unhealed trauma from your lifetime and lifetimes before. Understanding who you truly are, balancing your masculine and feminine energy, your yin to your yang, healing your dark shadow self, allowing the light to illuminate what it is that needs to be healed without allowing it to keep you stuck. So now that I just preached, and and for most people who know who I am, a lot of times when I talk, I'm channeling energy. I just seen an orb. I just seen an energy behind me. That's why I look that way. So when I talk, usually it's because I'm channeling, and it's a message that you need to hear. And I hope that I helped in some way, helped you to understand that, yes, we are pretty much all going through the same thing, right? We're going through the same thing. We're feeling like we're never going to get past this stuck energy that we've been in. We're never going to find love, or we're never going to have a good job, or we're never going to be happy, or we're never... Yes, you will be if you allow yourself to be. Right? Trust in yourself. Believe in yourself enough to know that you can do anything that you want to do. So I know earlier I had picked some messages. Well, I picked one card that dropped out, and it was surrender to negative thinking. And this is what a lot of us are experiencing at this time. You have control over your thoughts. When negative thoughts surface, say, thank you for sharing, and quickly refocus on positive affirmations. So this is the card that jumped up at me this morning as I was channeling and connecting. And this is big right now in the collective. So many people in this negative energy, so negative, including myself. You know, I had to go through it. Like, you know, just because we're healers and teachers and so forth, we can't be 100% positive and cheery all the time. We have to go through our own shit too. And I had shit. I have shit still that I'm trying to heal within myself. You know, I feel like I'm at a point now, and maybe others as well are going through this too, is I'm healing a lot of family stuff. A lot of family things that were passed down to me. Understanding of things that I went through that I didn't totally understand, you know, about myself, that I let define who I was, right? So I am healing a lot of that stuff, and I feel it's because as I'm healing that and understanding and acknowledging that within myself, I'm also healing my family line. Hopefully it is going back to family lines and healing them as well. So family has been big for me at this time, understanding what I went through and getting to a place where most people will do this is place blame, you know, on people in our lives, right, that did us wrong, or family especially, because that's where it all starts as a child. It's not to say that everyone, that it's right that they did what they did, or you went through what you went through, right? It's not to say that that was right or wrong. It's just understanding. And I think this is what this higher consciousness is. And when we can align ourselves, understanding that people do what they're taught and what they know, right? So that unhealed trauma that our parents or their parents have never healed is what they carried down with them. And, you know, and that could include anxieties and fears, you know, that our family line has carried, that we find ourselves in now, right? So it's not really about being not putting blame. It's more about understanding and acknowledging that people are going to only act and do what they know. And if they don't know any better, and especially if they're unawakened, what they did or how they acted, those choices that were instilled in us as children was only because that's all they knew. They didn't know any better, right? You know, we're all in that place of really understanding, trying to understand unconditional love, right? That is all what is learning unconditional love is what is going to bring us into that higher consciousness, connecting all parts of ourselves, right? Our higher self already knows what it is that we're supposed to be doing and the lessons we're supposed to be learning. And that's where we're going. We're going into higher consciousness, higher frequencies. And as we ascend into those higher frequencies, we're going to have all kinds of mental, emotional, and physical issues that we're going to go through, because our bodies are trying to catch up with those higher frequencies. So this is where, we'll feel like we're dizzy and lightheaded all the time, or heart palpitations, or bones and joints and everything is affecting us. Lower back areas are being are hurting even more. Ears are ringing and pain. It feels almost like an ear infection. Throats are sore and hurting. It's our body is trying to go into that higher frequency. It's trying to connect to that higher frequency that we're not used to, And at the same time, we're trying to purge all of these old things that we're holding on to, these limited beliefs about ourselves and who we think we were, or are. We have to release all of this stuff, connect, and allow it to do what it needs to do. All right, my loves. So I'm going to just pull one card. Let me see, because I didn't expect to go as long as I did. But when I go on and on, as you know from other videos, it's because I'm channeling, and this is what Source Spirit wants me to pass on, to share, to share with you. I'm just trying to see what I may have challenged earlier. Sometimes I'll write down the things that come up for me. And what came up too was a song earlier too, as right before I started recording this. What I kept hearing is the song from Aretha Franklin. What is it? I wrote it down. I Say a Little Prayer for You. So that came up really strong. So really, if you think about it, it's kind of like, we got to pray. Prayer is so important, and I guess it's kind of like what I'm trying to do for you, and express and share my experiences so that you could have a better understanding of what's truly going on. And we need prayer. Prayer is important. You have to believe in the prayer. And the card that popped up was growth. That's exactly what is happening. We're evolving. Right? We have to allow ourselves to evolve. We have to allow ourselves to grow. It's so important for the evolution of our souls. Growth. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness, right? So important. This is a great affirmation to help you get through it. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. Okay? Repeat that till it's stuck in the ear. I want to. Okay? I want to grow. I want to expand my awareness and my consciousness. And it's necessary, because that is what this whole ascension process is about. Growing. We don't want to be stuck. And I'm going to tell you, when you're truly stuck is when you're unhappy. You're unhappy in your life. You're unhappy in your work. You're unhappy in your relationships. You're miserable, unhappy. And that is really spirit showing you, energetically, that you're unhappy because you're not in alignment with your true authentic self and what is your truth and what it is that you are supposed to be doing. Because when you are in alignment with your true authentic self, you're not going to be unhappy. You're going to be happy. You're going to feel positive and excited and just cheerful and joyful and all of that stuff, right? Because you're in alignment. Not to say you're going to be at that vibration and frequency always. We're human. We're still human. We're still here in the physical realm. So we're going to be, we're going to have ups and downs. We just have to embrace that part of who we are. And the ups and downs is what's going to help us grow as well. It's going to help us to get in touch with our emotions. It's going to help us to understand why we are unhappy. Why? And this is what this awakening is about. The why you're not happy. Where is it really truly coming from within yourself? Not why did this person do that to me, or why is this happening to me, or why? Because when you're doing that, you're looking for something outside of you, right? To explain it. The why should be, why am I unhappy? Not why is this person, it's about you at the end of the day. It's about you. Every day, check in with yourself. Because I'm going to tell you, with this awakening, as much as you try to avoid the changes and the shifts that spirit universe wants you to go through, so you can release that old version of yourself, it's not going to leave you alone. It's going to keep coming at you louder and harder. And it's going to feel like an ongoing dour moment, an ongoing dark night of the soul. You're never going to be able to come from out of it if you don't allow it to change. Allow yourself to allow the process of the shifts. The dark night of the soul and the tower moments, that is the crumbling of a foundation, a false foundation, an illusion of what we thought was, and it really wasn't. It's a crumbling down to see the masks coming off, the illusions to be illuminated, to see the truth in who we are and what is going to emotionally fulfill us. It is the universe coming in, shaking up your world, and coming at you harsh to remove it from you, to help you. But if you fight it and you resist it, it's only going to be harder. And guess what? Each one of those tower moments are going to get harder and more frequent over and over and over until you allow yourselves to go through the change and the shift. It's necessary in order to evolve and move into higher consciousness, which we are all trying to do as a collective at this point. So I think I want to pull one more card. I like working with this shamanic deck, the Mystical Shaman Oracle deck. Let's see what our ancestors have to tell us. What message do they have for us? What message do they have for us? So I hope I didn't overload you. It's really just to help you become aware and understand that this is not a punishment that you're going through. Not at all. It's a shedding of an old version of who you were, or who you thought you were, so that you can rise into the higher consciousness, your future self, your authentic self, your true self. Right? I was fighting darkness again last night, so I'm a little tired right now. It's just been coming so much lately. And a lot of it is coming from the collective energies, because a lot of times I feel other people's, most of the time I feel the collective's energy. So a lot of people are going through this really low energy, this negative energy, and I'm feeling it. But I also feel like I'm fighting a lot of low vibrational energies that are coming at me and trying to attack me, to try to stop me. And that's why I say be careful of the people you're around. Sometimes people are not really who they are, and they have ill intentions towards you, and some will intentionally send it to you in an energetically send it to you intentionally. And then there's others that are unintentionally sending it to you by the way that they think, So it's like I'm constantly fighting. Thank God I was a warrior woman in a past life. So I learned how to fight all of that stuff. A warrior woman. And I feel like, like for gods and goddesses. So it's like high energy there. All right, so let's see. What does the Shaman Oracle deck have? What is the healing message that our healing helpers would like to share with the collective? What do they need to know presently that will help them and guide them? What is the healing message, please? Thank you. Let me see. Okay. So here we go. All right, so the two cards that popped out. PACHAMAMA. Look how beautiful that card is. PACHAMAMA. PACHAMAMA simply is Gaia, Mother Gaia, Earth. It's Earth. It's Mother Gaia. She is the mama of Earth. Let me read the message in more detail. PACHAMAMA. I'm just so taken by the card. All right, number 40. PACHAMAMA. Alrighty, PACHAMAMA. So this is PACHAMAMA's message. Mother Gaia, Earth. She's unconditional love of Earth. Okay? She's the mother of Earth. The essence of PACHAMAMA represents the unconditional love that the Earth has for all her children, including the stones, the plants, the animals, and humans. She is the goddess of Earth, also known as Gaia, who pervades all creation in our planet. Thanks to PACHAMAMA, our timeless soul can experience life in a biological body. The joy and pain we taste during our brief time on Earth are invitations to discover the boundless love of PACHAMAMA. The invitation: you are a child of the Earth. Now is the time to eat right, love right, and be joyous, regardless of the circumstances you may find yourself in. Be grateful for your life, your body, and all that nourishes you. PACHAMAMA invites you to relish each breath, embrace your joy and your pain equally, and discover love through both. Let PACHAMAMA know how much you appreciate all of her blessings. With an act of service such as planting a tree, helping save an endangered species, or protecting the ocean. The medicine. You still believe that you have been cast out of the Garden of Eden, that you are motherless and homeless. You suppose that you need to work very hard to survive or thrive. It is time to stop suffering. Let go of that old myth and realize you were given the garden to rejoice in and to become its steward. Your melancholy is really a longing to return to the heart of PACHAMAMA. Listen deeply to the mother who is always there for you. Walk in beauty and honor all life. Isn't that beautiful? And really, in essence, it's kind of explaining that what we're going through, right? You know, we stay in this place of lack. We stay in this place of undeserving, unloving, not feeling enough, but we are so much more than that. We are so much more. PACHAMAMA, we are the earth. We are love. We are divine, right? And we need to get to a place of truly, truly embracing who we are, our divinity, our sovereignty. We need to embrace all of who we are. And we need to release all of who we thought we were. so that we could become who we are truly meant to be. We need to honor and respect ourselves enough to know what we deserve. Because we deserve all of it. All of it. Right? A little intense, right? Okay, the other card that popped out was the Seer. I love this the shamanic deck that lets me tap into my shamanic parts of who I am. So this is the Seer. Look at that, Seer. The Seer sees all, knows all. The Seer, 45. Let's see what the Seer has to tell us. What does the Seer want us to know? What message do they have to help us get through what we are going through? The Seer represents the capacity to reach beyond the obvious details of life into the hidden realms where information is available to those with the discernment to perceive it. This symbol represents psychic perception, intuition, and the capacity to know something without prior exposure. The Seer knows the truth, always seeks the truth beyond all else, and sees reality as it truly is without judgment. The Seer can read between the lines and understand what is not being said. He represents the power of clarity and being able to recognize patterns. So think about that for a moment. The Seer. The Seer is you. You are the Seer. When you come into the place of awareness and awakening, you become the Seer. Just as we were talking about it earlier, it's in us. We have clear perception, clarity. We know who we are. We know what all of those lessons and experiences represented for us in our evolution. We see it. We see the truth of who we are. We see the truth of all that we've gone through and why we've gone through it. And this is a true essence of where we are going into that higher consciousness. The awakening is about us allowing the Seer in us to come through. Oh, I got goosebumps. Let's continue reading it. That was pretty deep. It's very true. We really are. When we become awakened, we become the Seer. We tap into the shamanic parts of who we are. The Seer sees all. Everything becomes clear. No more illusions. No more rose-colored glasses. Right? It's truth, authenticity. We see it for what it is. The test and the challenge is not to doubt it, not to doubt yourself, and not to fear losing those parts of yourself that no longer serve you, or losing and releasing people, places, and things in your life that no longer serve you, right? We need to see it for what it truly is. When we become awakened, we become the Seer. The invitation. The Seer invites you to trust your intuition and follow it as it leads you forward. You may feel lost when it appears that your hunch is taking you in circles, or even through a maze, but the hidden realms don't follow the rules of a two-dimensional map. Trust your gut and allow your perception of your circumstances to widen, to include the nuances and subtle cues that you normally miss if you take things at face value. The Seer has gifted you with his magic. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. Your vision is clear. You're becoming the Seer. You need to trust the Seer in you. The Seer is in you. It's already part of who you are. You're already magical. The seer is magical. Right? The medicine. The seer has arrived now to challenge you to get out of denial and begin telling yourself the truth about your situation. Wishful thinking will not make what you desire happen when you're refusing to see things as they are. The truth may hurt, but it will set you free to claim the bounty that is awaiting for you to notice it. This is a moment of true power. The seer offers you his medicine. When you are ready, surrender your vision to spirit and ask to be shown the truth, no matter the price. Once you do so, your eyes will open and you will receive a powerful gift. Wow, that is amazing. So freaking amazing. That pretty much explains everything that was channeled through me today for you to hear. It really is. It speaks about what this awakening is all about, right? It's about us seeing the truth for what it truly is. Seeing our truth and trusting and allowing the process to do what it needs to do without doubting, without fearing. We are magic. The seer knows. Call out to the seer in yourself. Your intuition is your seer. It is you. It is who you are. Higher self is our evolved state. It is us at an evolved state. It is all within us. When you're feeling doubt, confused, and fearful, call on the seer within yourself to help you see the truth in all. Ask them to help you use discernment, understanding, awareness, and allow you to see the truth in all that is in you, around you, and alongside you. Trust in what the seer is showing you, because it is what is going to set you free. Once you can actually acknowledge the truth of wherever you are, whatever situation you're in, whomever you're with, who you are. When you can finally acknowledge that part of you, you become the seer. You become awakened. And now you step into higher consciousness. You step in to who you are, truly meant to be, who you are. Divine. You're divine. All right, my lovelies, I didn't expect this to go into an hour, but I hope that it helped you guys get some clarity and understanding, and hope that it helps push you forward and to not let you resist the changes. Allow yourself to go through the process, because there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There's a beautiful rainbow awaiting for you. Let yourself go through what you need to get through. Let yourself heal whatever you need to heal. Don't resist. Trust and believe in yourself. And keep moving. Keep evolving. Keep evolving. That is what you are meant to do. All right, my lovelies. I'm going to end the session. If anyone wants to, if you're interested and want to get in contact with me, you can email me at reikibyisabella@gmail.com. You can follow me on Instagram, Reiki by Isabella. Follow me on Facebook, Reiki by Isabella. Or you can visit my website to see the services that I offer, Isabella-Reiki.com. I will place the links below so that you can click them on. And do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I love you all, and I send you lots of love and light and positive energy to help you get through this process that we are all going through at this time. All right, my lovelies, I will be creating a video, a healing video, where I will use sound therapy to help you to get through this shift. So look for that. You can subscribe to my channel, and you'll be notified of when I will be doing that. All right, my lovely people, I love you so much. You are more powerful than you know. You got this. You're going to get through this. Just let it do what it needs to do. Love you all.